yesterday to see if they would make it onto the match court. It was a washout. They had to call it off, but here they are, first on centre court today. On your screen, Madison Brengle, the top seed here at the Surbiton Trophy, which is a top-level ITF event for the women. She's taking on Fernanda Contreras Gomez for the first time. Abigail Johnson here to guide you through it. So here's Madison Brengle, one of the senior players in the draw here at 32 years old, a lot of experience, current singles ranking of world number 57, with that career high achieved during her best season of 2015, where she posted a couple of strong showings at the Grand Slams. Not the first time that she's competed in Surbiton either. She was here 3 years ago, the last time this event was staged in 2019. Lost out to a familiar name to many, Britain's Heather Watson, who's had success on the singles and doubles courts here in times past. You can guess the reasons for us being back here at the Surbiton Racket and Fitness Club for the first time since 2019. The pandemic wreaked havoc, but we're glad to be back with the full grass court calendar for the first time in a handful of years. Here's Fernanda Contreras. She's had a brilliant run recently on the clay. Came through qualifying and made the second round of Roland Garros. From Mexico. But she's spent a fair amount of time in recent years in the United States, where she played college tennis. That's becoming an increasingly popular pathway, particularly on the men's side, but more and more of the women taking it up. And that current WTA singles ranking not too far off a career high, which was also achieved this season, in fact just last month. She hit that number 204. She's currently at a career high doubles ranking as well, just on the edge of the world's top 150. So she's on the up, is Fernanda Contreras. And looking at a tough draw here, but this week of the season it is tough for most of the players. The quick turnaround from the dirt to the grass courts, which are two such contrasting surfaces. And particularly for Contreras, who was still competing out in Paris just a matter of days ago. It's a quick turnaround. But being in good form, match wins under your belt, confidence is transferable. And probably exciting moments here for Contreras. She doesn't have a recorded match played, pro match, on grass courts. So in contrast to Brengle, who's had a fair amount of experience on the lawns now over the years, Contreras making her lawns debut. So really, she could be coming into this match with the mentality of not as much to lose, bit of an underdog up against the top seed, the lower ranked player. Just step up and see how it goes. The first of 6 matches scheduled today on centre court, and play has been spread out across 7 courts. So for all the people coming to watch the Surbiton Trophy today in person, it's a bit of a treat for them. Obviously, it has a lot to say about how things went down yesterday. Liam Brodie and Jay Clark are third on centre court today. They were first on centre yesterday and played a set, and then were forced indoors. So a lot of matches to finish off. Here's an idea of the timing. So centre court and court 1, where Brandon Nakashima, a very promising American, takes on Marc-Andre Huesler of Switzerland. Those 2 courts are getting underway now. And then the outside courts taking a little bit of time to dry after the heaviness of the downpours yesterday. So court 2 is starting up at 11:30, and then other courts to get underway at 12 p.m. So if you're following live scores and staying on top of the action, if all the matches don't kick off at the same time, that is why.
5 minutes. Change the balls, please. Fernanda, we're going to bring the balls in. Giving you. Thank you.
bit of an extended warm-up as well. It's quite testing, this kind of situation, the stop-start nature of the interruptions with the rain, mentally and physically making sure that you're ready for whatever comes at you. It would have been a long, pretty stressful day yesterday. But throughout the season, the majority of pro tennis matches played under the sky and not under roofs. So this is what you have to contend with. Lots of factors at play.
Yeah, she's going to serve first, all right. Oh, no, sorry, she's serving first instead. Pardon? She's serving first, yeah.
It was Vanderbilt University out in the States where Fernanda Contreras played college tennis, and she left the school as the all And she's an interesting one. You'll see it now. She's got the one-handed backhand. That's much more of a rarity these days on the women's circuit. So many of the female players favoring their backhand side and looking to get power and control on that shot. The one-hander can be a riskier option, but when it's done right, it's very good to watch. And great to see the stands really filling up. 2020, no international event staged during the swing of the year in the UK, and it was much missed. It came back in bits last year. We didn't have the event in Surbiton. We had back-to-back weeks of competition in Nottingham just to keep things within a bubble.
2 minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, this first round match in the Surbiton Trophy will be the best of 3 tiebreak sets. Between to the left of the chair from Mexico, Fernanda Contreras. To the right of the chair from the United States, Madison Brengle.
So in case you didn't catch that from the chair, Madison Brengle opting to receive to open this encounter, looking for an early leg up. Will she get it? Brengle taking on Contreras for the first time. They've never come across each other before.
Got 6 balls? 6.
And they're kicking off the day
3. Where's the other one?
here at the Surbiton Trophy on centre court.
Do you have any balls that end? We've lost one already. Is it there? Can you get it? Can you help get the ball? Thanks. Listen. First set. Fernanda Contreras to serve. Ready? Play.
What a start.
15.
Maybe that extended warm-up helped a little. So quickly into the grass court season that every extra second helps. She's at it as well. Okay, belts up.
15.
Yeah, she didn't break stride there. Too much air on that drop shot that time around from Contreras. And no secrets in these opening points. She's going to make Brengle work. But she'll know it has to be a little bit more precise. Double break point for the top seed. Little sign of first match on grass. You'll see a little bit of that throughout the day. Just adjusting to some iffy bounces. Maybe the ball not traveling quite as expected.
Let's listen. Out. Advantage, Contreras.
Top level from the top seed. Opening game and 2 successful lobs. Contreras will try and give her headaches out here, but she'll do the same.
Advantage, Contreras. Let's listen.
Oh, that's a shame. The backhand slice down the line was such a good setup from Contreras. And it's a battle at the moment of who can unsettle who first. Expect that to extend throughout the set and the match.
Advantage, Brengle.
Will it be third time lucky then? A reminder that Brengle opted to receive here. This is the kind of start to the match that she was looking for. Get the early leg up on the scoreboard.
Let's listen.
And it's not happening quite yet.
Advantage, Brengle.
Okay, we should have put a stopwatch on this game. And they've played enough tennis to know, both players feeling the importance of it. A little bit of frustration there in the reaction from Brengle. The forehand has been hit and miss, but when she goes cross-court, she's got a little bit more margin. And that sets her up for a 5th break point opportunity.
Fault.
The topspin was too good there from Contreras. Nice insight as to why she's had some good runs on the dirt. That little bit of extra safety on the ground stroke and just dropping it at the last minute.
Advantage, Contreras. LTA serve. Game, Contreras.
A 5-2 game and 5 break points saved. And she survives. Fernanda Contreras getting that first game on the board and hoping to have built a little bit of momentum with it. The player from Mexico, who does technically come in as the underdog in this one by ranking. But form can have a say as well. Madison Brengle skipped Roland Garros, hasn't played since Rome, where she qualified, won the first round, lost out to a certain Coco Gauff in round 2. She's going to use that forecourt relentlessly, Contreras. And that's a good move from her. There's a difference between Brengle approaching that net on her own terms and being drawn up there on the end of a string by her opponent. Yeah, there was danger when Contreras survived that previous game. Such was the length of it. Surely pushing 10 minutes. And that danger increases with the second serve. Down double break point here, Madison Brengle. Exhibition time on centre court. 3 lobs, all 3 successful so far for Madison Brengle. Lovely touch there, just cradling the ball over.
Advantage, Contreras.
Hard to say it was the wrong shot to go for. That off forehand return. But you feel that if she can just step up the consistency a notch, that is the way Contreras is going to trouble Brengle at the moment, with her opponent misfiring from time to time, take the rhythm away. And a survival this time for the American. Both players on the board at the beginning of this first match of the day on centre court. British interest in the match following as Silva takes on former Wimbledon semi-finalist in Coco Vandeweghe.
I saw it good. Like, not close. Sorry, but that's how I saw it. Okay. Vote. Wait, please. Thank you. No.
Oh, that's well finished. Initially, the depth on the forehand from Brengle had backfired because Contreras just managed to scoop her backhand into play. It was difficult spin to deal with. But on the backhand, Brengle keeping that ball out in front. And Contreras resting on the safety net of that forehand topspin once again. Getting great curl out wide just to keep Brengle on the stretch, make her life a little bit easier. Tight on the scoreboard though here.
But
how she survived that.
14.
Brengle not quite comfortable on the overheads there. Interestingly, we saw Liam Brody yesterday on that particular side of the court struggling to put those balls away. Yeah, definitely the feeling that both players are still working their way into this and trying to settle down. Boy, did that ball skid.
Out advantage, Contreras. Deuce.
Tell you what, the depth of shot. They've painted the baseline a few times, these two. But Brengle has cottoned onto that drop shot, ready for it. It's going to have to be so good to catch her out now.
Game, Brengle.
And that's for the break of serve.
Brengle leads 2 games to 1.
3 games, all 3 have featured break points, but only 1 has featured a breakthrough. That goes the top seed's way. And she does get the advantage that she was looking for at the beginning of this one. So staggered start times across the 7 courts in action here at the Surbiton Trophy today. Centre court yesterday, you can see the covering of the court rolled back behind Madison Brengle here. It was very stop-start. A number of times it was pulled off and pulled back on yesterday. The net put down, the cameras pulled off court. So that got covered up, but not the same story for the outside courts, which extend to the right-hand side of centre court if you're looking from a direction with the umpire's chair on your left. So a little bit more time for those courts to dry out this morning. Hence the start times of 12 o'clock for courts 3 onwards.
Quickly, please, behind the players. Thank you.
So big moments here for Fernanda Contreras. Has to break straight back to stop that previous game from counting for Brengle. It's just waiting for people to take their seats here. And that's a great start. It was really good to see the positive body language from Contreras prior to that point. The little pump of the fist. Cannot afford to get frustrated out here. It's been bitty. That's so good. Much better drop shot from Contreras on that occasion. Really came underneath it and forced Brengle to adjust, even though she'd got up to the ball on time. Great insight to place the lob behind it.
Out. 15.
Here we go then. 4 games. All 4 have featured break point chances. It's the opportunity to get right back on level pegging.
Out. 30.
And we've been here before.
Advantage, Contreras.
Great use of the spins on the ball there from Contreras. Dragging Brengle around, keeping her at her mercy. And thus we're back level.
Good. Thanks, Booker. Love 15.
And that's going to feel good for Brengle. She got the right idea there. Big, deep hits into the backhand wing of Contreras. That one-hander can be so impressive, but you've got to put it up against the wall. Really make her feel the pressure on that wing, and she did multiple times in that rally. Now it's on the scoreboard.
Let's
Well, it was a nice idea from Contreras, but that cross-court backhand from Brengle came in with such force it was difficult to control and chop the ball short.
Good.
Now she has to face triple break point with a second serve. A lobtastic again. She just won't stop with that shot. Madison Brengle has found what works, and she's found her range in key moments. Once again, break of serve. She sits down out in front. This the first of 4 weeks of grass court lead-up tournaments to the Championships Wimbledon. And next week here in the UK in tournaments staged by the LTA. Both the men's and women's tours move on to Nottingham.
Okay, thanks.
WTA level event there alongside an ATP challenger here in Surbiton. It's a W100 ITF event for the women, which is the highest level ITF competition, the step before WTA. But it has to be said, serious strength in this draw. It could pass for a WTA 250. Brengle herself well inside the world's top 100. Alison van Uytvanck, the defending champion, is the number 2 seed.
Let's go.
I should correct myself there. Actually, the technical defending champion of this event is Alison Risk, who won it in 2019. But there was an extra event in Nottingham last year, the Nottingham Trophy, which Van Uytvanck won. Deja vu. Twice she's been broken, twice she's punched straight back. Contreras using that backhand slice to great effect. She's got points to play with here as she looks to get back level. It's a tough clash for both players out here. Struggling to get rhythm in their first match on these lawns and then doing their best to snatch it away from each other as well. Switching up the patterns of play. 1 save, 2 to go. A bit of a how do you like it moment there from Brengle. The forehand chip was nasty. Contreras having to get low for it.
Thanks, please.
Again, nice idea, but the execution not quite there for Brengle. Halfway through the set, 4 breaks of serve. And Fernanda Contreras now to serve for the advantage at 3-all.
15.
Pinpoint in the corner. She needed that. She needed one of the first couple of points here, Contreras. When there's been so many break point opportunities and so many breaks of serve, it can become a little bit of a mental struggle. Those feelings of here we go again.
That's 14, 30.
It's a hold of serve. It's a good one as well from Contreras, finding that first serve when she really needed it, leaning on it, getting the job done. So the top seed forced to chase now on centre court. And the next game could get interesting from Contreras' side of the net. Interesting juncture on the scoreboard, 4-3. She's got the boost of having held serve there and won a couple of games in a row, which gets her a bit of momentum. And then she has the knowledge that if she can push through here, she's very suddenly serving for the opening set. So a bit of extra motivation and all the pressure on the shoulders of the statistical favourite in terms of ranking, Madison Brengle. But again, you've got to look at previous results, and even though it was on a clay court, that run of Roland Garros has got to have been a boost for Fernanda Contreras. She'd reached a couple of semi-finals on the ITF circuit not long prior to that. End of April, beginning of May.
Let's listen.
Her positioning there just exposed a little bit Brengle. You like her attitude here, her intensity, trying to get things finished within the first couple of shots, but when she didn't, Contreras got the length on the forehand. That lovely control on the volley. Had to get down low for that one, Brengle.
It's 14-15. Brengle.
Now the reaction tells you everything there from Brengle's side of the net.
4 games in.
And just getting that opening point might have looked like a little thing, but really it was big for Brengle to prevent her feeling the scoreboard pressure and to just keep Contreras on the back foot throughout that game. So it's the business end now. And that pressure that was on the top seed's shoulders, suddenly it transfers sides of the net.
Another 15. Another 15.
And she might just be feeling that pressure. Would have been unnerving to miss that backhand slice by such a margin on the opening point. She's been really consistent with placement with that shot. And that's a big point to win, because she just got the sensation that maybe she wasn't trusting herself quite so much in this game, Contreras. Back to Old Faithful, the drop shot working out.
Out.
But it might not be enough. We've seen a lot of break points in this encounter, but these might be the biggest of the day so far. Not Brengle's best lobs, though. They were forced, those ones, too far back in the court to get the adequate height and length. So down to break point number 2. Once again, the forehand finds the court at the last second. I think that's caught Brengle off guard a couple of times. The sudden descent. To deuce we go. Don't think there's a spot of centre court that went untouched in that exchange.
Advantage, Contreras.
Great use of the length and width of it from Contreras, and nice to see her hitting back behind Brengle as well. She has to find ways to stretch her opponent out on that forehand side and take the control away. Did that nicely. And the tug of war continues.
Yes.
And just when it looks like she's getting drawn into Contreras' game of cat and mouse, she moves her feet, gets herself around the ball and finds the sweet spot. That's too good. Getting adequate height on those balls to make the drives uncomfortable for Brengle. She never looked confident on that backhand side when she was in the forecourt. Rocked back on her heels.
Out deuce.
Oh, she got lucky there. Contreras.
Advantage, Contreras.
It was not the best moment to bring out the drop shot. Brengle was inside the baseline. And I think maybe she almost had too much time on that ball. Eyes lit up when she saw the open space. Couldn't find it.
Deuce.
Well, she's getting court time, Contreras. That's the positive here. First pro match on grass. There's a lot of trial and error out here, just trying to work out how the artillery that she possesses matches up to this surface, what works, what doesn't. And she's working the backhand slice really nicely for the most part. And grass courts are fast and slow travelling at the best of times. Brengle having to get down the extra inches there. And forced into the miscue. Contreras grinds through. And that's got to be the most impressive hold of the match so far. Back against the wall, was facing the break points. Brengle made some good connections in some big moments, and Contreras just committed to the fight. She's not going to get as many cheap points as Brengle out here. I mean, neither of these two is a firepower big hitter. But it's been Brengle for the most part looking to get herself on top of the point quickly and finish things off within a few shots. And that might just come back to bite her, because Contreras is going to keep her playing. She's going to mix up the connection point and drag her around. We've seen that throughout the set so far. And Brengle just has to be really careful here. And if she is to go for those big first strikes, the first serve percentage is going to be key. First time she's serving to stay in the set.
But at 15 left.
No, two can play at that game, she says. The difference there for Brengle is that she initiated it, so she had the reins. And she was ready for that approach. Great connection on the backhand side. Two impressive holds for two completely different reasons. Brengle just showing her experience on that occasion. She's played a lot of matches this year. She's been consistently winning back-to-back matches and WTA main draws. Hence her ranking inside the world's top 60. 5 games all, opening set. And she just asked the question with that previous game, Brengle, as to whether Contreras can step up and give it that little bit more. And the returning on the last couple of points has been really smart from Brengle, deep into the body, aware after the opening point of this game that Contreras wants to step up and tee off, and she's not letting her get in adequate position to do that. So big opportunity here at 15:30. But the lob lacks the height, and you can understand the frustration because when it's been her choice and she hasn't been forced into it, that lob has been so effective today. She had time to place that one. Expected more of herself.
40-30.
Great survival. Brengle's going to regret that move at 15:30. Looked like a good opportunity for her. Promising start to the game. She'd made some good moves. But Contreras stepped up to punish. Are we headed for a tiebreak here on centre court? Well, the boys who are scheduled last on for doubles today on centre court might be watching this with a little bit of displeasure. 6 matches scheduled today on the main court here at the Surbiton Trophy. 2 women's matches kicking off. After this one, it'll be Silva taking on Vandeweghe. Play now kicking off across all remaining courts here at the Surbiton Trophy. Great treat for the fans who've come to watch in person. 7 courts to choose from. Chance to break through for the set, chance to force a tiebreak. And that's super smart from Contreras. You saw it, the vicious fist pump towards her team in the stands ahead of this game. She's full of intent. Too much air on the drop shot again. Oh, tangible frustration from the Mexican side of the net. You just wonder if she kept up the strikes from the baseline, if it might have been enough. But Brengle made enough balls to cause her to doubt. Almost a Houdini act there from Contreras. She was letting the Brengle approach go, convinced it wasn't going to catch the baseline. It did. But it left her on the back foot.
But 14-15.
Vicious. It's been rare to see Contreras take the ball at the height of the bounce like that on the forehand, but she's showing a depth of skill, a range of weapons out here.
Outstanding Brengle.
Got her stretched out when she needed to. Madison Brengle reasserting her authority. And you have to say, this opening set deserved a tiebreak. When one of these players has started to look the stronger, the other has risen up right away. Contreras to serve to open this tiebreak.
Let's. 1-0.
My word. What a way to open. Now the backhand, when she has time on it, Brengle, pardon me, that can be a really devastating shot from her. Fortune favours the brave. She was the first to really step up there.
Brengle.
Mini break backed up. No margin for error now for Fernanda Contreras. Well, it's coming down to slim margins here, and of the two players, Brengle just seems that little bit more comfortable really going for her shots. Both of them have depth. But when it comes to striking the ball, Brengle's the more confident, so that net cord really salvation for Contreras there. Stopping the run of points for Brengle right when she needed to. How's that? You've got to hand it to Contreras. This is following the tail of the set. 4-love. Brengle there. Looking in control, looking the more convincing of the two, and then Contreras reaches deep into the bucket, switches it up, comes to the net twice of her own accord. Big point upon resumption here. Oh, she knifed that. Did it even bounce? Pretty much rolled across the court surface from the Contreras racket. And that significant point on the return goes her way. Here we go. And the first serve deserted her at the wrong moment. You could feel the increasing confidence from Contreras' side of the net, and Brengle's put that to bed. She's got a couple of serves for the set here. That's top draw from both players, you have to say. Really stepped up to produce. The drop shot from Contreras was not bad at all. But Brengle's fired up here. Couple of set points. And there it is. Experience got it done. The top seed survives a brush with danger in that opening set. The job isn't done, but she is out in front, taking the tiebreak. And the first set even. 7-6. Maybe a few sighs of relief there for Brengle. Contreras hung on. But that early lead in the tiebreak, racing to 4-love, that did make the difference. Things can happen so quickly in those breakers, the slim margins. Contreras never really able to recover, always chasing in those final points. Interesting set of tennis, both players finding their grass court feet. You can't say it was the highest quality all the way through, but it was a brilliant contest. And both players really up their level in the closing stages, seeing the finish line.
You're this side and Madison serving.
Can they carry that form into this second set? All is not lost for Contreras. Still lots to play for in this opening round match at the Surbiton Trophy. She qualified for Roland Garros a couple of weeks ago. Contreras, her 3 wins, each came in 3 sets, so she's used to a battle.
Time.
And we've seen those fighting qualities throughout the opener.
Yeah, sure. Second set, Brengle to serve.
Important to get a good start here with the ball starting on Brengle's racket.
Out. Below 15. Out 15. Both. Both. 15-30.
Got to tread carefully here, Brengle. This is where she can really stamp down. But she's not been allowed to on that occasion. Contreras keeping her chin up, taking the positives from that opening set, and taking the 2-break point advantage in this opening game of the second.
Let's fix it.
She ramped it up a notch there, Contreras. Maybe channeled a little frustration, whipped around the outside of the ball, and slams herself onto the scoreboard in this second set. That breakthrough feels quite significant for her. And Brengle's shown her staying power throughout the match so far, but with the disappointment of really being edged in that opener, it was so important for Contreras to establish herself early in this encounter to avoid allowing Brengle to feel like she's picked up any kind of momentum here. One of her best drop shots. The gasp from the crowd was earned. Look at the backspin there, flew away from the racket of Brengle.
13.
Taking that ball a fraction earlier there, Brengle, to rob the time from Contreras, get her on the run. How about it?
30 all.
The top seed's turn to slam the brakes on. Again, it's that backhand that can be so damaging when partnered up with this court surface. If she gets it just right and cracks it, barely bounces.
Let's take a set.
Moment of magic from Brengle. Tactically read that exchange so well. Produced the shorter ball at the last second. Contreras with no hope of running that down. 3 points on the trot. Breakback point. She set that up so well. The cross-court backhand pass time and again. Brengle not allowing Contreras to get comfortable in the forecourt or on the scoreboard. Break straight back. Great signs of focus from the American. Did make the second round of the Australian Open earlier this year in her only major so far in 2022. And Wimbledon is a Grand Slam at which she has had multiple years of experience. Best runs at the grass court major, reaching the third round on 2 occasions. Firstly in 2017, but most recently last season in 2021.
30-15.
If the run to the third round last season wasn't confidence boosting enough, she had a pretty decent run to that third round in terms of opponents faced. Won 10-8 in the decider over her fellow American Christina McHale, who was once a highly promising young player, and then got the better of a Grand Slam champion in number 4 seed Sofia Kenin. And she cracked a few backhands in that clash. 6-2, 6-4 over Kenin last year before losing out to Victoria Golubic. Come on, indeed. Fight from Madison Brengle, showing that if Contreras is going to turn this match around, it's not going to be an easy job.
Yeah. Okay. Same way.
On we go on centre court. Interesting situation over on court 1, which started play at the same time as this centre court. Brandon Nakashima, the number 5 seed, who's fresh off a run to the third round of Roland Garros, lost out to Alexander Zverev, who's still going after a brilliant defeat of Carlos Alcaraz yesterday. Nakashima's down a set to Marc-André Huesler of Switzerland, and that just highlights how difficult it can be to go quickly from one surface to another. Multiple players in the draws on the men's side and the women's side here in Surbiton were competing on Parisian clay. a matter of days ago. Interesting to see this from Contreras, the match notes. A great way of keeping focused and staying intent. A tennis match is a long affair, a long time to concentrate and to keep yourself mentally engaged. I'm almost surprised that we don't see more players with the notebook and pen out at a change of ends. On serve in the second.
15. Out, love 13.
Now the placement a little bit off there from Contreras. Great intensity in the forehand drive, but she sent it right into Brengle's strike zone on the backhand. It doesn't matter how hard you hit it if you've not hit it into the right place. Triple break point.
Vote. 15.
That's nicely done.
13.
She can't afford to play not to lose in these situations. Contreras has to approach these points as if they were any other points in the match.
Let's
There was almost too much time on that ball for Contreras. Completely got it wrong. Have to feel for her, because she'd come back so well in that game, but ultimately it was too deep a hole to dig out of. Madison Brengle, who was broken in the opening game of this set, has the upper hand. Looking to make it 4 games on the bounce here. Brengle serving at 3-1.
13.
And that is how you consolidate a breaker's serve. Madison Brengle unflinching, showing her quality, and coming 2 games away from the match here at 4-1. quite the turnaround to the second set. Little update from over on court 2, where there's an all-British contest elsewhere in this draw between Sonne Cartel and Lily Miyazaki. Now, the winner of this clash will face the winner of the encounter between Brengle and Contreras right here. Looking likely to be Brengle, the top seed right now. Miyazaki and Cartel, two players that are on the up, but particularly Cartel, who recently took up her spot as part of the Billie Jean King Cup team for Great Britain. Would advise you to keep an eye on Cartel over the grass court season. The first one that she'll be playing as a pro. One thing's for sure, if Brengle can keep rolling in this second set and get it done in straights, it does not get any easier for the top seed in the next round. She's got to be steady here, Contreras. You can feel the wind has just gone out of her sails. Brengle seized back the scoreboard. She seems to almost have crushed her opponent's spirit with it. Now the points keep coming and they don't stop coming for Madison Brengle, who's locked into the zone now. She's riding momentum, caressing that forehand drop shot and seizing triple breakpoint. Holds to love, breaks to love, and the finish line is certainly in sight now for the top seed from America, Madison Brengle, with the opportunity to put the lid on this, the first match of the day on center court.
Out. 15 left.
What a contrast to the opening set, which was so hard fought. And Contreras with such a promising start to this one, but only takes a couple of points to change absolutely everything. And if she can wrap this up here, she's got a lot to thank that backhand for. It's really got going over the course of the last half hour or so. Understandably hit and miss at the start, but it's Madison Brengle with triple match point. Six games on the trot to seal it. A classic point from the top seed to wrap it up. Madison Brengle with her opening win of the week in Surbiton. Great fight from Fernanda Contreras in her first professional grass court match. Brilliant opening set, but ultimately She was edged in it. And Brengle took the confidence and the momentum. Well, she got a nice mix there, Madison Brengle. Time on court in the opening set and the confidence boost of being able to roll through the second. She moves through to round two. She's carried the target well there as the top-ranked player in the draw. And she'll take on the winner of the clash between Sone Kartal and Lily Miyazaki. Kartal up a 6-3 set. So much more to come here on Centre Court. Stay with us as we take you through the day of action here at the Surbiton Trophy 2022. Another women's match to follow shortly. Eden Silva from Great Britain taking on the number 7 seed and former Wimbledon quarter-finalist Coco Vandeweghe. See you shortly.
Yeah, we go open 2 cans, please. Yeah, warm up one. Well, open 4, yeah. Thank you. The 2 cans. Yeah, 2 cans. And then the 2 cans ready to go at 5 minutes, please. Thank you. Did you open 4 cans? Oh, you handed out the other 2. Fine. 5 minutes into the 10 minutes. Change after 5 minutes, and then you're like playing with proper match balls. Yeah. Okay. So when you come in and change them, I'll change the ball. Yeah. Okay. So that'll be great. Thank you. Hopefully you'll stay dry. It's raining in Wimbledon 10 minutes away. Yeah. It is supposed to miss us because of the wind direction. So we're right on the edge of it. So So, yeah, but fair aim, just grab the ball and get them moving along with it, that'd be great. So, who's done it before? The players have to do it, you're responsible for that one. Yes.
Welcome back to the Surbiton Trophy. Wednesday's action on centre court being broadcast to you here, and we're on to the second match of the day, which features the woman on your screen from Great Britain, Eden Silva, a qualifier here in the main draw. She's up against the number 7 seed, two-time Wimbledon quarter-finalist Coco Vandeweghe of the United States. Abigail Johnson here in the commentary booth to guide you through this match after success in the first match of the day for the top seed Madison Brengle. It was a hard-fought opening set against Fernanda Contreras, but she did roll through the decider, winning the last 6 games of the match, and getting it done 7-6, 6-1. So who will join her in the winner's circle? It's a big ask for Eden Silva in her first match of the main draw. The 26-year-old who's had some good form on the singles court in recent times. Some of her career highlights have come in doubles, but she's had a fair amount of experience in recent weeks playing right here in the UK. Contested 3 of the 4 weeks of ITF tennis, in fact all 4 of the weeks of ITF tennis staged in Nottingham over the last couple of months, with her best run coming in week 2 when she went all the way to the trophy with victory over promising teenager Robin Montgomery in the final. So Silva getting going on the singles court. But the highlight of her career, one of them, did come in doubles when she partnered Evan Hoyt, her fellow Brit, to the quarterfinals of the Wimbledon mixed doubles event in 2019. So 2 Wimbledon quarterfinalists on this court, but here is one who's had quite the ride in recent years in terms of physical setbacks and injuries. Here's 30-year-old Coco Vandeweghe. Been around a while now, but not as much as she would have liked to in recent times. Been as high as world number 9, as you can see there, that career high ranking for Vandeweghe. Evidence of the damage that she's done on the circuit. Achieved that number in 2018, but she's really been through the grind, has Vandeweghe. 2 stress fractures in her right foot, complex regional pain syndrome in the area, left hand surgery at the end of, well, during 2020. She had a horrible accident in the kitchen. A microwave container exploded in her hand and required surgery. So she's really been met with setbacks left, right and centre, has the American, but she's back on court and looking to get form going. And it's a bit of a difficult position to be in when you're one of the higher ranked players in the draw. You've had results on the grass previously. It does put a bit of a target on your back. Brengle was just able to manage that effectively. And Jane Clark in the chair for the first time today on this court. The Surbiton Trophy, the first tournament of the grass court season. I'm sure you'll be well aware that competition is still going on over in Paris at Roland Garros, the second week of the French Open. And that always means there's a strong draw at the Surbiton Trophy happening in the second week of the year's second major. Those that have lost early in Paris, or those that just want to give their grass court season a little bit of extra time, coming to Surbiton, getting some early practice on the lawns. Which makes for some fascinating contests and some interesting draws. So Eden Silva, already with wins under her belt coming into this match. Sometimes you would say that that's great, and that it gives the player some time to have adjusted to conditions and that kind of thing, but it's been havoc in Surbiton so far. And the qualifying matches yesterday actually were taken over to NTC, came to the rescue the LTA's National Tennis Centre, because of the washout yesterday, several instances where the rain just poured down and play had to be abandoned after just one set of action on centre court. So it's been a bit of a time of it so far this week, but we're hoping that we've got all the poor weather out of the way and the rest of the week can run as scheduled. What it does mean is that there are a lot of matches to get completed today as we look to wrap up first round action in both the men's draws and the women's draws. So we have got a full 7 courts being played on here at the Surbiton Racket and Fitness Club.
And the balls are changing 7 and 9 from 5 games time. You'll come in and change them, yeah?
Silva picked up her qualifying victories in straight sets over fellow Brit Amelie Brooks, younger player in the opening round 6-3, 6-1. And then most recently against Australia's Alexandra Osborne, the 27-year-old coming out on the wrong end of a 6-4, 7-5 scoreline. Vandeweghe looking at her first grass court match of the season here. Second and final women's match of the day here on centre court before Liam Brodie and Jay Clark come back out to complete the match that they started yesterday. Jay Clark leads by a 6-4 set there. And due to the lack of grass court preparation for a lot of the players here in Surbiton because of weather conditions, there are extended warm-ups ahead of matches today, just giving them a little bit more time to get going, get accustomed to the conditions.
Three minutes remaining.
Quarter-finalist in mixed doubles previously at Wimbledon, Eden Silva. She won a round in qualifying as well last season. This is a big time of year for the Brits. They build up to it. They know those wild card opportunities might be on offer for those that have shown promise, as Silva certainly has with that trophy in Nottingham. She also reached the semi-finals of her most recent event contested there, losing out only to Sonny Cartel, one of the most promising Brits at the moment, who leads Lily Miyazaki by a set over on court 2. If she can get that done, she'll face top seed Madison Brengle in the next round.
Ooh. Are you okay? Two minutes remaining.
British contestants left, right and centre on today's order of play.
For a match in the Surbiton Trophy would be the best of 3 tie-break sets between, to the right of the chair, the United States, Coco Vandeweghe. To the left of the chair from Great Britain, Eden Silva. Vandeweghe won the toss and chose to receive.
Second match of the day, second time we've seen the player who won the toss choose to receive. The returns of serves on the women's tour are such a factor, looking to do damage from the first ball, and in Vandeweghe's case here, she's looking to do damage from the first game. So Silva given a discreet message there that she has to be ready from the first ball. from Essex, Silva, so down south. Really good counter puncher, great mover. Can hit a great fluid shot off both wings. She's got to be ready for the big serve of Vandeweghe, the power hitting from the American. And if she can get the timing right, she can potentially turn the American's weapons against her. And she's got good versatility to offer, as her success on the doubles court would suggest. 8 titles picked up on the doubles court at ITF level for Silva, the most recent of those last season, and all of those coming on a hard court, so she doesn't mind a faster surface. Grey clouds, they can stay there as long as there's no water falling from them. Eden Silva taking on Coco Vandeweghe in this second match of the day on centre court.
Time.
These two facing off for the first time.
First set. Eden Silva to serve. Play. Out. 15 love. Out. 30 love.
Great start from Silva, showing the couple of matches she already has under her belt, whatever the conditions. A win is a win.
Fault.
The ideal start to this one for Silva, particularly considering that Vandeweghe opted to receive.
Silva, first game.
Short, sweet and to the point for the 26-year-old, who's appearing for the first time in Surbiton, as is Vandeweghe.
Coco Vandeweghe to serve. Fault. Love. Fault.
Nasty kick on that wide serve from Vandeweghe.
30 love.
She's a powerful player, but it's not just about banging that ball into play. Great tactical display there.
Love. $40-15.
That's well done. Vandeweghe being sent an early message about how good those approaches have to be. Silva doesn't mind being on the back foot. She's rerouted nicely there, just swept underneath the bottom of the ball. Great touch and control.
Game. Vandeweghe.
That's going to be a tough area for Silva today, that return of serve on the second serves. Knows that she has to try and take advantage when Vandeweghe misses the first delivery, and it's a fine line to tread between not doing enough with the shot and then going for too much. Vandeweghe surviving as her opponent mounted a bit of a comeback there. It's the rain threatening. And not just threatening, but actually coming down. Hence the players heading to their chairs. And it's a better forecast today, it has to be said. Not a perfect forecast, but better than yesterday. So hopefully this is just a short delay. For the time being, the players are going to wait it out on court.
We don't have umbrellas. I think Chris there. I'm asking to call it because I don't think we should be. We're not extended yet. We just hold him for a minute. Okay.
Got to be so careful on the grass courts. Just a touch of moisture and they get lethally slippy. And if you think about the stop-start nature of tennis, think back to Eden Silva in that last game, having to reroute, go back for the forehand, for the pass. Very easy to be swept off your feet if you're playing on a surface that isn't entirely dry. And hence there are later start times across a lot of the outside courts today, just to give them time to dry from yesterday evening's downpour.
That's fine, yeah, that's what we're doing on all the courts.
Discussions going on. They'll be very reluctant to pause play today because of the number of matches to get through. 7 courts in action. Of those 7 courts, 5 of them are staging 6 matches today. This is the second of 6 on centre. One of those a match to be completed.
We'll have fresh towels and everything. Okay. Don't worry about that. Yeah, I'll have them in my bag.
So they're wrapping up for now. I was trying to listen into what's being said there. Play is suspended for the time being. It was the only way. It's coming down pretty consistently out there. So we're just going to have to hang on, hopefully, for the resumption of this one in the near future. But that's up for Surbiton to decide. 2 games into the second match of the day on centre court. Play suspended for the time being.